Hello and welcome to the PMQ live update for today, which is Thursday, December 17th. I know we're all gearing up for the holiday season. Hope everybody's staying safe and hugging your family safely whenever you get the chance. I'm excited to talk to a good friend today, a new friend, I should say, Janet Duran of 550 Pizzeria in Laredo, Texas. Janet, say hello to the world.
Hi.
It seems like we do have a little lag here, but that's okay because this is exactly how this works nowadays. It's the new normal for broadcasting and interviewing. But we want to talk with Janet because she has a unique story. There are a lot of people who've actually done this, but it is still pretty unique as far as opening a pizzeria in the pandemic and actually being successful at it. And, you know, I always like to say pizza's recession proof. It's kind of proving, if done right, to be COVID proof too. I don't want to put that out there, but it can be COVID resistant, like a watch. It's not quite waterproof, but water resistant. So, you know, Janet, you're down there in Laredo, Texas. You have quite a kind of a really kick-ass origin story, like Superman or Spider-Man. So why don't you go ahead and tell everybody who you are and what you do and kind of give us a brief couple-minute rundown of where you started and how it led to where we are today.
My name is Janet Duran. I live in Laredo, Texas. It's South Texas. My journey started, I used to work at Laredo Pizza Factory, and I was a cashier there. I also worked at a news station, so I was part-time there, and I had my former boss, his name was Jeff Trevino. I worked there for about 7 years. I was a cashier, and then I moved on up, and little by little I became manager, and I took over the restaurant one year. And I was very nervous. I was scared because I always thought to myself, like, I don't know what I'm doing. Like, yes, I'm back here, but I always had Jeff there to help me out, you know. But I was able to take over, and I learned to make pizza just by watching him, and I learned all the ins and outs of that pizzeria. But unfortunately, I had to close after about a year of running it. I had to close. And I started making pizza from home. My customers always looked for me on Facebook. It was about day 2 that after I closed, they started adding me on Facebook. They started calling me, and it literally it's history from there. I didn't know what to do, in the sense, like, okay, I could make pizza. I had pizza stones, but I had like little pizza ovens, and there I could only make 10-inch pizzas. And I started doing that, and they were like, it's okay, we just love your pizza, like we still want to buy from you. So then I was like, let me look for a pizza stone on Amazon, and it was a 16-inch stone, and I started making pizza and a grill with a pizza stone. I started making large pizzas, which is 14 inches, and it literally took off, like, from my house. I used to have lines of cars picking up pizza. There it is. Yes. I went through about 3 different grills because they got so bad that they would like collapse. Like the grills would collapse of how burnt they were, of how much it was in use. So I would work in the news station again. I started working there again. I'm sorry?
Well, I was just going to say, in the high temperature, were you just using the gas burners, or were you like trying to go for super high temp? Trust me, I know I burned through a lot of grills. It seems like I have to buy a grill and a fire pit every year. Unfortunately.
It would reach up to about 900 or 1,000 degrees with a propane tank. Oh man, those are my best friends.
Well, that's why you're burning through so many grills.
Yeah. Yeah, and
well, that's great. So
it would be about 9 hours pizza.
Well, I'm sorry. So you did you were working at a place. It was a pizza factory, Laredo Pizza Factory, and then your former boss and your mentor, you know, he decided he was going to step down and asked you if you wanted to buy in. You bought in, but then you realized that, you know, we should probably close. You being like the active partner made that decision, and you were making pizzas from your home. And it was just kind of your neighbors and former customers saying, where the hell can I get some more good pizza? So you were doing that for a while, just making pizzas from home, kind of at request?
Yes. It was weird because I I would tell my customers like, oh, I live in this address, and I felt super like I would go out with a pizza box, and little by little I had more and more customers, and then I would have like cops there waiting for their pizza too. You know what I mean? So it would look so bad, like having cops on my street. Like, what is
Oh,
she
yeah.
giving them? And I'm like, you know what I mean?
That
Yes,
makes sense.
and they come and eat here, and they always tell me like it looks so shady, right? When you would give us a pizza, I'm like, yes, like you guys were in line.
Well, that's,
Yeah.
I mean, that kind of, we'll talk a little bit more about that later in today's climate as well. But I mean, it sounds like, I mean, were you charging for these at first? Was it just kind of favors for friends? And then you realized this kind of, from what you were telling me, I think this kind of propelled you into being able to open 550 Pizzeria, correct? Were you charging at first or were you not? And then realized I should? I mean, how'd that work?
Charging for the pizza?
Yeah, the ones you were making at home initially when you first started doing that.
Oh, yes, I was. I was because I was like, well, I needed to make money. I needed to make money, so I started charging, and I charged very little, but I felt so grateful with all my customers because they would literally be like, nope, here's this, and I'd be like, oh, like, are you sure? And they're like, yes, like one day you're gonna have your place. One day you're gonna have your place, and I'm like, okay, yeah.
So it's almost at a certain point, it was almost like kind of donation based. I mean, it's not that you were necessarily had a menu with set prices. It was people out of common courtesy and decency said, "Hey, I'm going to pay you for your service." That's great. That's
Yes.
awesome. So this actually, you had the sound mind to save this money up, use this as a revenue stream to jumpstart your next venture, which was 550 Pizzeria. Now, when did you
Yes.
decide to actually start that journey? When did you say, when like was pen to paper, you decided to do this? Was it before pandemic, post pandemic? I mean, what's the timeline on that?
It was before pandemic. It was way before. Again, when I worked at Pizza Factory, I would always tell my former boss, I would always tell him like, I want to open my own pizzeria one day, and he would tell me, do that. So it's been an idea for a long time, very very long time. Um, I feel like I started drawing out. Okay, this is how my lobby. This is how I want the kitchen. But of course, a lot of things end up happening. It's not enough room. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's been about 5 6 years in the making.
Okay, so this was, I mean, yeah, it definitely was a 5 6 years in the making. Now we're getting a little lag, and I don't know if it's just me. If anybody who's watching, we got a lot of viewers. Let me know if you can still hear her, or if it's just me. But I know you were saying, Jeff was saying, when you get your own shop, you can run it this way, and it was kind of the boost to get your own shop. I mean, that's why you bought in, and then eventually we're at 550. So, what's the reasoning behind the name? Because I like the story. We'll just get that out of the way real quick.
550 is the thing. It reminds me of everything my former boss taught me, Jeff. He taught me to be patient, to always be kind, and to never give up on yourself, to push forward even if you're tired. That tomorrow's another day, and you're gonna keep going. If you love something so much, it's gonna be okay. It's okay to be tired. It's okay to have to go through errors just to keep going. And um, he would always, when he would hire somebody new, he used to be like, Janet, what's the oven supposed to be at? And I'm like, 550. Like, I would always be like 550. And that always stuck in my head. Like, but it literally just comes from everything he's taught me. And I just love it's very catchy, like, hey, let's go to 550, you know.
Okay, so I do hear that. I guess your video does keep freezing. That's fine. I might ask you to jump out and jump back in at some point. But I mean, it's more than a phrase. It started as a phrase. What's the oven supposed to be at? And you call out 550.
Yes.
but it's more than that for you. It embodies the whole sentiment of this is how we do things and this is why we do it. So,
Yes.
I'll tell you what, can you just jump out and then hit that join link again real quick? That might fix all our connectivity issues. And I will go ahead and remove you right quick. And then I will sit here and tell you guys a story. There was this one time I was walking through the woods, and I tell you what, I only had about 5 pizzas in my backpack. That's enough to maybe get me through the afternoon. And then I see this squirrel come running up at me. He's like, "Yeah, got any pizza?" I'm like, "Yes, squirrel. Here you go, my friend. Here's a pizza." Then I see raccoon. He's like, "Hey, I saw you give that squirrel some pizza. Can I get a pizza?" I said, "Sure, raccoon. Here's some pizza." So that's 2 gone. There she's back. You're going to have to tune in for the rest of the squirrel raccoon pizza story later, guys. Okay, so maybe this is going to help, maybe not, but let's go ahead and continue on. So you started the planning. I think it was September when you guys kind of put pen to paper. September 2019 is what you said as far as 550.
Yes.
So that is before pandemic, and nobody could kind of foresee this coming. How did things change? Because you didn't open until June, right? Of 2020.
Yes, we didn't open until June 20.
I didn't get it.
I didn't hear your question.
Up. Well, no, my question was you didn't open until June. You started answering it, but then you froze. I'm sorry. So you didn't start opening until June. You signed it in September. What were some kind of pivots that you had to do? Was there a lot of adjusting you had to do to your model?
I'm sorry, I can't hear you. You keep cutting off. So what? Okay. Okay, so your question now.
Did you have to adjust your business model?
Yes. My plan was to have more of a dine-in. It is a dine-in, but it's not. I have to have about 75% capacity because that's what the Texas rules are right now. And it's a lot of takeout. I wanted it to be more of a sit down, have some beer, some wine.
Okay, so you did adjust a little bit, but I mean, do you feel that opening, I don't want to say opening during the pandemic, gave you a leg up because you already knew what the restrictions were and you didn't have to adjust to them, having been open for a while? You could actually come into the game with these restrictions in mind?
Yes, I feel like every business is we should be able to adjust because there's always so many changes, right? There's always something new and every day. So I feel like those little adjustments that we had to make, I was kind of ready since it started in March and all these different changes started happening. So I was ready for June. I was ready, like my grand opening. There was a lot of people outside, but not inside. It was getting a little bit packed in here, but air, you kind of know, okay, I need to go outside. So that was like, it was so weird to me to see something like that because I hadn't even been to a restaurant since everything started happening.
Well, and as you were saying, I don't know if anybody was able to hear, but in Texas, you guys have 75% capacity at this point.
Yes.
Still, which is it's quite a bit more than a lot of places had, or I know the restrictions are tightening again. Did you was there, like, when this was coming up, did you have to utilize any new technology? Was there, you didn't plan on getting kiosks or, I don't want to say touch-free ordering, but I mean, did you have to incorporate, say, iPads and online ordering when you didn't have plans to do that initially, or were you ready to go?
I had a POS system. I have an iPad just for the curbside, but I didn't have to upgrade to any new technology or anything like that.
So you were already kind of you were prepared for that. You were more or less with an iPad for curbside. Okay. And I'm thinking that's that just kind of goes along with, I hate using the word benefits of opening during the pandemic versus having somebody who's been around for 30 years having to adjust to it. You know the rules, so you can adjust for it before you open. How was opening? How was your opening day? Honestly, how was your grand opening in June? Was it? It wasn't 10th, was it? June
20th.
20th. I was close by half.
Yeah.
but how was your opening?
It was crazy. I'm very humbled by my customers and my friends that were here. We sold out. We sold out about 2 or 3 hours before our closing. It was just nonstop pizza. I literally was like, oh my God, like I just keep seeing a circle and a circle and a circle. You know what I mean? Yeah, but
Yeah, I'm pretty sure when you went home and closed your eyes too, that's all you saw.
Yeah. It's like when you play Tetris too much and you're like dreaming about it.
Yeah, absolutely. Trust me, I've had those long video game nights where you close your eyes and you can't get away from it. But so this is one of those things where you kind of planned to be open from a certain time till it was like 10 p.m., but you were out of dough by 7. This kind of leads me to my next question about during this pandemic, and especially being a brand new business, how hard has it been to kind of create your build tos, or I don't want to say normalize what you're going to be, your preparation, but how hard has it been to actually create those build tos? And I think she froze looking at a squirrel over there. I can't see her. There she is.
Were you asking
we
that
had a
question
great
again?
connection earlier. We had a good connection earlier. Not sure what's happening, but how hard is it to make build tos and plan for business during a pandemic with uncertain business? You don't know how much business you're going to get. Everything's changed.
I was very scared. I got very scared at one point because someone actually asked me, how do you feel about the pandemic? And I was like, but I feel like you said, pizza. I feel like pizza's recession proof. Like we all need to eat, so it's gonna move forward. There's some places that have closed, and man, I wish I could help them out. I wish, you know what I mean. I honestly, I didn't think I was gonna be this busy. I always think about it. I always think about how I knew I had my customers, but on a selling out every weekend or every other weekend, that blows my mind.
Did you ever have second thoughts about opening? Because you started signing papers and planning in September. Well, years before that, but once everything hit, come January, end of January, beginning of February, did you ever have second thoughts?
Yes, I had a for a while. You have self-doubt. I used to sit at home and I would watch TV and I'd be like, what am I doing? Like, is this something that I could do? Like, but I tell myself I do it every day. What's going to be the difference now that you're at home and now you're going to be in an actual kitchen, an actual restaurant, and the self-doubt will always be there, but you have to keep moving forward and not give up. You have to believe in yourself. You have to tell yourself, you know what, like, this is something I love. I have to keep going. And I swear every day I walk in and I love it. Like, I walk in and I just the smell of the pizza, like, I get excited, and I always thank God, like, thank you God I'm here.
Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, but I mean, at a certain point, was it ever just like, maybe I shouldn't do this? It was not that. I mean, this was always, I've done this. We're going to see it through. That's great. So as far as like, you did a lot of business. You already had word of mouth from the places you worked before, and then you did your in-home reach out, or in-home production, I should say. You froze again. I can hear it, but can you hear me?
Yeah. Yes, I'm hearing. I'm just getting closer to.
That's fine. So what was the best way for you, or that you found, to promote yourself and gain traction in the market now, especially since everything's really changing? Or was it just kind of already there through word of mouth? I mean, what was the best thing that you found as a way to market yourself as a new place and get the people to come in?
I believe it was word of mouth. I've been marketing myself for past 2-3 years on my personal Facebook. I used to do markets. Like people would have little markets, and I would attend, and I would make pizza in front of them, and with my little stone oven that I had, I would do that little by little, and people would ask me, when are you gonna open, and I'm like, oh, maybe in a year or in 2 years. They would always ask me that, and I would always think to myself, like, damn, am I ever gonna get enough money to like actually build a location? And
And then she goes,
a lot through social media, a lot. Did you hear me?
nope. You, yeah, you just froze up for the last sentence.
Let me see if I can move around and know connect better.
Okay. Well, but you can show us some of your place as well. But I mean, basically, you were getting a lot of word of mouth. People were coming, and you were helping them out. I really like how you said that you were doing a lot of local markets and stuff like that too. So it wasn't that you were sitting there waiting for people to come to you. You were actively out there promoting your name, your quality product, and all that. So
Yes, I feel like if you believe in your product, you should keep advertising it. So this is my dining room. Can you see me?
You froze up.
Or see the
Froze up again. There we go. I like all the peels. That's nice. And guys, again, if we can't get much more, then we will definitely have another conversation with a better connection. But we're gonna muscle through today. Do you have any additional plans? Well, I'll tell you what have you done as far as like social outreach during the pandemic? I know there's been a lot of stuff where helping first responders. You said you were doing that from your house as well. Even before everything, the serving policemen and stuff like that. I like how you said it just seems shitty having so many cop cars on my block at my house all the time. That's much better right there. Yeah. But I think you're closer to probably the router. But what did you guys do once you have started as far as like social outreach, to get your name out there, but also help the community?
I've been doing before we open, about 2 weeks before for us to train, I give away 100 pizzas to teachers. So I told them all just to start coming in, and we'll give them free large pepperoni pizzas. And that was a crazy day.
That's great, Amy.
We were all training, I've tried to donate to charities, proceeds to them. I did the Cancer Society of Laredo. We've done the polio research here. There's different ones. I blanked out, but I'm actually doing one for our local meteorologist. We're selling the heat wave shirts, the ones that you see right there. Yeah, those all the proceeds will go to his favorite charity, which is feeding the veterans and their families.
That's awesome. That was just a random picture I stopped on too. So that's awesome. Perfect. Yeah, but still. So it seems like I really like how you said teachers, because I think, and not to belittle our first responders, but I think teachers are left out and forgotten quite a bit.
Oh yeah. I always tell my husband's a teacher, and I always tell him, man, I give you props, credits, everything, because to do what you're doing right now, that takes a lot of patience, a lot of love.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I know you're standing, so I don't want to, we're going to get through the rest of this, but the connection is much better. Thank you so much. I did want to put this up there, Joshua Koopman. I still owe you an email, my friend. We'll get in touch. He just says pizza and applause. So very good. I do have somebody. I do have somebody here. Oh, very nice. I love that. They're working, masks on, everything. I appreciate that. Somebody from Adam Brown from Lakeside, Ohio, he put this up earlier, and I don't want to get into a huge debate, but he's like, Lakeside, Ohio here, they got the best pizza. I said, well, we'll see, because people might have differing opinions. Oh, I like that. Well, I know who he's talking about, and I agree they have good pizza, but the best is a very loaded word. Yeah, you know what I mean. You got to be able to back that up. And I like how you said we'll see you in Vegas. So hopefully it'll be one of those in 2021. Everybody can get back out to competing and kicking each other's asses in person versus this cyber war stuff. But thanks, Adam. I do appreciate it. I did want to put it up there. We can have further conversation later about that. I did put up in the comment section where they can reach you as far as the Facebook and your actual website. Michael Wolf, I'll put this up again. And US Pizza Team member says, good job, bro. He's out there in California. He's a great guy. And Jonathan Powell says pizza is life. So now back to the crux of what we're doing. I haven't even been looking at my questions here. So the vaccine has arrived. But it just kind of arrived at the point where people were going back into lockdown. This kind of leads to, did you have, were you planning beforehand for this roller coaster ride, or is it just kind of the same plan? You're going to go forward, or were you kind of watching the market and saying, once we hit this point, we can start doing something different? I mean, it's a tricky one because it's so unpredictable to plan for. You know what I mean? Yeah.
I mean, we literally have to, like right now we have a curfew. So by 9, everybody has to be out of here. We get out of here by 9:30. Everybody has to be home by 10. So I think we're going by the rules that the governor tells us to go by. Mm-hmm. But we're ready.
Well, and that's what I was going to say. Is, I mean, in Texas, it's such a big place. I'm not sure. I'm trying to keep track of all the places and their mandates and restrictions. But is it regional, or is it just like one set of restrictions and mandates for the whole state of Texas? Because I used to live there. I know it's huge. Is it? There's maybe a couple state mandates, but then it's county. I think is what she was going to say. You there?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. I could. I think she's saying it's by county, so. You there? There you are.
I'm like, I can't.
Oh, right. It's getting close, guys. I don't want to call it, but okay, good. She's back. I was going to say. So it sounds like that's by county. I'm just going to try to muscle through a couple of these questions. Do you have any other plans once we've kind of hit a new normal? Are you going to change anything about the way you've opened and are functioning now? Did you get that?
I just heard the new normal and functioning now.
Do you have any other plans to change how you're functioning now once we hit a new normal?
No, I will see in curbside or takeout. I wish I could do delivery, but I feel like insurance is so expensive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, we lost that last part, except insurance is so expensive. That's a big one. That's a big cost, and especially now, if you're doing good now, why change what's working for you? And that's what we're trying to show these people, is that there are certain models that can work without either curbside or without delivery. You can't do without both, obviously, right now. But I'm going to ask this before I lose you. What about the zombie apocalypse? Because it's right around the corner. Are you guys ready for that?
Yes.
I actually wrote this out, so we have to ask
I'll feed them pizza. I'm sure they'll calm down.
Well, I like how that was the one answer that was able to get through. Well, I think we've actually talked about most of the questions that I had, and I would love to have you on again if we can get a good connection and just, so you don't have to walk around with your laptop. But I do want to ask, again, pizza can be recession and pandemic proof if it's done right, or at least resistant. Do you have a final positive affirmation for the industry right now? Just a good message to give people hope. Maybe your success story.
I, as a person that has been through many struggles and people that don't believe in my product or believe in me, I'm here now, and I have my own pizzeria, and I feel like you should always believe in yourself. Don't give up. Um, things will get better. I believe they'll get better, and I pray they get better. Don't let negative attitudes come in front of you. Don't let it get in your way, because there'll always be negativity. But remember that you are you, and you have to keep going.
Absolutely. We're just showing some video here of your grand opening as well. And a lot of people came out.
And like Ellen says, be kind to one another.
Perfect. And guys, this is the last second to get some questions in. I'll tell you what, there was a question that happened earlier, like right at the beginning. Can you tell us how the dough, I guess it's just a random question, but how the dough can withstand all the movements without tearing? Means what is the substance that increases the hardness of the dough? Now, that's all about your recipe, but I mean, you were saying it's going to tear sometimes. It's more about training of dough management and handling, correct?
Yes.
So, I mean, what do you train your folks on there as far as like not tearing that dough?
Give me a quick second, because I can't hear you.
It's nice, guys, because we're getting the full-fledged tour. Hello. Getting the full tour here. I love that hat. That's great.
Let's see. So I can't get the internet connection. Let's see.
That's fine. I mean, it was just
Okay.
the last question. This guy was the first person to post a question before we even started. But, can you tell us, what's your best dough management technique that you train your staff in? Because it's going to tear if you don't treat it right. What do you teach your staff to do to keep it from tearing? Texas just doesn't want to play fair today.
I'm sorry. You cut off a lot. I'm so sorry.
That's all right. I tell you what. You know what, Janet? We'll do this again. Will that work? We'll do it again where we can maybe just do a hard line connection. But I think I really appreciate all the information you were able to give us about actually opening up during a pandemic, what your plans were and how you had to kind of pivot and change to go along with it. Unfortunately, the internet gods are not smiling on us today, so we're losing connection. But, this is we'll pick this up again, let's say January, just of next year, because, people have forgotten that we've talked by then, probably. That's how the internet works. And, of course, the connection comes back really good.
Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely, Janet. I do appreciate your time. I want to say she had a great message. Be kind and be positive to one another. And if you can't do that, I completely lost her. Yeah, she's gone. And if you can't do that, then that's just sad. So I want to thank my guest, Janet Duran of 550 Pizzeria in Laredo, Texas. Here she comes. There she is. There you are once again. It happened. I was just saying, I loved your last message of be kind. And if you can't do that, then we're sad for you. Just be nice. Everybody be safe, and be safe for yourself. Be safe for others. But right now we need people to be kind to each other. So, Janet, thank you so much. I want to thank everybody who commented and watched and tuned in and asked questions. We'll do this again where we can get a good, clean connection. But until then, everyone, I just want you guys to stay safe and stay sane. And you guys have a happy, safe holiday. Janet, I don't know if you can hear me, but thank you.
Thank you much.
There we go.